It has been exactly a year now since the incident happened. The day that my younger brother John was killed. I have tried and tried to forget about what happened, but it is still burned in my mind. I know this is rather a cliche, but I'm recording this and putting it online in hopes that sharing what happened for all to hear will bring me solace. My brother and I had a very strong bond, beyond what most siblings have, because of our isolation from civilization in southern Louisiana. We were raised by our mother, who had not only assumed the additional position of a father, but as our teacher, and due to the distance from the nearest school, we were forced to be homeschooled. Our father disappeared when we were very young. He left one day and never returned. Our mom says he left her for a younger woman, but I'm pretty sure now that that isn't true. Last year today, on my brother's 17th birthday, we decided to take the canoe out through the swamp in hopes of finding an alligator that we could shoot. John and I always loved hunting alligators. It is so fulfilling to bag a big gator and get to feed the whole family. Well, I have wandered off topic, but we were out on the canoe, rowing around. The cold, salty air met the hot, humid swamp air, creating a very interesting atmosphere. We had already, in past adventures, scouted a 3-mile radius around the house, but we were determined to reach farther than that. Rowing in a canoe isn't the fastest means of transportation, but it works. We had gotten very good at swerving around the protruding stumps, trees, and the occasional rock that poked out of the murky green water. The sudden rush of water knocked us out of our trance. It was an alligator. The time we had been waiting for was right there. My brother rode closer as I grabbed my .45 revolver. The alligator wasn't affected by us. It continued to swim north. The sun was setting as my brother gazed out towards the sea. His voice trailed off. I looked to see what he was looking at, and almost couldn't believe what I saw. Standing on a small island were two people, who appeared to be blankly staring at us, mouths agape. And between them was a glowing object that neither of us could make out what it was. "Hey!" I yelled to the two men. Strangely, there was no response. They didn't even move, blink, shift, or anything. "Let's get out of here," I said to John, but he didn't reply. The canoe was drifting, and the only change by the people on the island was their heads gradually turning to keep their blank stares on us. "Hey, let's go!" I spoke up. He stared blankly back at the small island. "John!" I yelled, but again no response. I was about to start paddling, but John unexpectedly leaped out of the canoe and into the murky water. "What are you doing?" I asked him as he swam, then walked to the island. Before he was out of the water, however, I noticed something. It appeared to be black hair, emerging from the sea, which was followed by the top of a head. Then, what I was expecting to be a person. But that's where I went wrong. Walking out of the ocean was something I had never seen before. It was tall, probably 7 or 8 feet. It had long black hair. Its black eyes looked foggy, due to what was most likely a film over them. They slanted down its face at an angle. Its face was narrow and sharp like it had been starved. This absolutely terrified me. What are you supposed to do when you see something like that? Anyways, the creature walked up to the island, and the two people shot one last look at me. This one was different, though. I saw tears and absolute fear suppressed by their blank stares. It was like their human instinct were trying to prevail over whatever trance they were in. But that was to no avail. The creature grabbed both of the men, one in each arm, and turned around, returning to the ocean. I saw bubbles emerging for a little bit when their heads became submerged. Now, I am sure you don't believe me, but I saw what I saw. If someone had told me this story, I wouldn't have believed them either. I yelled to John, "We need to get out of here now!" And his response was still unforgettable. His head slowly turned around as he gave me a blank stare, then turned back and approached the glowing object, which flashed a red color, then returned to its white shine. "John!" I cried. He stared at me. I fled. I went home and told my mom all about it, but she didn't believe me. She kept telling me to tell her the truth about what happened. But it was, and still is, the truth. You have to believe me. After insisting it as the truth, she finally gave in and left to go find the elusive glowing item on the island. She never returned. I have been living by myself over the past year. I just wanted to get this story out. I'm starting to worry, however. I think the light is getting closer. Because at night, if I look at just the right angle, through the trees I can see what appears to be a faint light. I am tired of living in fear. I'm going to submit this now. Go check out the light. Then I'll update this when I know the truth. Goodbye for now.
Hey guys, it's Wolf. I wanted to say thank you for listening to the story today, and I also wanted to say thank you for your patience. I know I've been gone for a little while, and I was dealing with some personal stuff, but now that that's all taken care of, I'm hoping to get the stories out again twice a week. So if you guys have any comments on how I sound or what stories I should do, please let me know in the comments below. Again, I'm really sorry I was gone for so long, and I'm really looking forward to getting more stories out at least again twice a week. And I haven't forgotten about Jurassic Park, I know. It's been quite the experience, I should say. I originally gave us maybe about 2 weeks to get the project done, and in reality, that was nowhere even close to what we needed. And I'm hoping to not do that to you guys again, especially when I'm on the cusp of almost having 300 subscribers now. So again, we haven't forgotten about that. I'm going to try to get that out within the next week or two. Please bear with me here, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks again.